During the eMERGE results review process, you may be asked to provide feedback on individuals with whom you've worked throughout the year. If that's the case, you'll receive an email from that individual's leader asking that you take part in the review process. When you get that email, the next time that you log into eMERGE, you will see a task under your My Tasks widget that says provide feedback for the individual's fiscal year 17 results review. When you click on that link, it will take you into the form that you would potentially fill out to provide feedback for that individual. So you can see that in this process, we're in the provide feedback, and you can see that we're providing this additional information for the individual listed right here. There are instructions that you can follow. You can also click a link to obtain tips on providing feedback. The main thing that we want individuals to know when you fill out feedback is that it should be constructive, something that they can work on or work towards, and your information will not be shared with the individual who's being reviewed. Now, there are no names that are shared. The individual doesn't even know who provided the feedback out of the individuals that they've nominated, so there's no tracking that way. But if you do have some individual incidents or identifiers that the person might be able to pick up on, then obviously they might know who you are. But the system itself does not ever tell them who you are. So a few things within this section, within this form, if you will. There's just a few forms to fill out, or a few fields to fill out. And if you don't feel like you are the right individual or you don't want to provide feedback, you can always click decline. What that will do is actually send an email to the individual's leader. It's not going to send a rejection to the individual themselves, but it will send it to their leader that you are opting out of the request. So it asks a couple things. What does this individual do well? What is something, or what are some things that they do really well that you want to recognize? What could they do to be even more successful? So is there something that is an opportunity, or somewhere there's an opportunity for them to become even more successful? Maybe they need to take part in meetings more often. Maybe they need to share their ideas. Maybe they need to create signatures on their emails. Whatever it may be, what could they do to be even more successful? And this is where we really want to provide that feedback to them, not only on what they've been doing well, but also how can they be even more successful than they are currently in their role. And then the last box is for any additional comments that you want to add. So for instance, if I'm typing in what does this individual do well, I will just type in for testing purposes, trains classes well. Okay? And then I'll do what could they do to be even more successful. Let's go with could keep more specific processes on projects. Maybe they're a little disorganized or something like that, so we want them to be a little more specific. Additional comments, something like I have enjoyed working with this individual. Something to that extent. Now, when you're doing the what could they do to be even more successful, if you have something specific, certainly feel free to add that. If it would identify you as the person who provided the feedback and you don't want that, obviously leave that out. So once you're done with filling out those three areas, you can either click Save and then come back to it later. Again, you could decline if you don't want to fill it out at all. Once you're done, though, you'll click Submit, and that will go to the individual who you've just provided the feedback on's leader. You can add any comments that you'd like to include in the email that goes to them. But once you're done, you'll click OK, and then the leader will be notified that your feedback was provided. So that is filling out the additional feedback form. Thanks for joining us for this video demonstration. We hope you come back and view additional video demonstrations on additional pieces of the process.